Welcome to the Discovering Leadership podcast. My name is Corbin Hannis, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host Carl Bowden from Exemplify Leadership. Carl, you want to tell us what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about vision and inspiration. What does it mean to have vision and inspire others? And before we go into that, the purpose of this podcast is to invest in you. It's to invest in the fundamentals of leadership to help you live a positive example to your business, to your community, and to the people that you care about. We want to build a community of leaders. Our ultimate goal is to lead leaders to multiply the effect with those that we interact with. We want to help others live a positive example. Now, when we're talking about vision and inspiration, we need to create a path forward for other people to follow. And is there clarity of direction in that path? We need to communicate that effectively. And how do we get others to be empowered by a higher calling, a sense of belonging within an organization, a business, or maybe a community? And how do we light that fire? How do we light that flame within others to get them inspired to take action and to make a difference? Now, when we're talking about creating a path forward, there's a quote that I always refer to. It's by Helen Keller. It says, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." Now, when we talk about having sight, yeah, we can see things, but there's not really any direction. Now, I think of, going for a hike, like in the mountains. Yeah, we can see like there's a mountain there, there's a trail there, but if there's no direction, there's no clear sense of where we're going, what the end destination is, then what's the purpose?
At that point, you have no vision. And to me, it's like dreaming. Everybody wants to consider themselves a dreamer, or at least most people do. You got big dreams, big ambitions, big goals for, say, your life, the future in general, say your business, or just across the board. A lot of people have big dreams, goals, and ambitions. Uh, Having that vision, there's nothing wrong with having those dreams. It's all about being able to make it there, making those steps. But in our case right now, the topic we're going over is just simply having that vision. A lot of people, if if you don't have that dream, if you don't have those goals, then again, like you said, what are you aiming for? If it comes back to if you're hiking up a mountain and you don't know your end goal, then where are you going? Uh, it reminds me of another quote. This quote I actually remember who said it. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. This is my favorite quote of all time, and this is probably the reason why I remember who said it. But dreams aren't what you see when you're asleep. Dreams are what keep you from sleeping.
I love that.
It's a fantastic one, right?
It
It was a
is.
good quote. But it goes back to what you were saying. You got to know where you're going. You got to be focused. Determine that direction that you want to go in with your life, with your relationships, with your health, with your business, with your career, whatever it might be. Look towards that end goal. Look towards that final destination and utilize it as a why for creating the roadmap to get there.
Yeah. We ultimately have to find out what we want to accomplish and make that very clear for people to follow. This is the direction that we're going. This is the way to get to the top of the peak. Say, like when we're hiking. But same thing with business. This is what we're trying uh, to sell. This is what we're trying to create a difference in our community. If that is clear, then people will know where to go, what to do in their day to day tasks. So, how do we clarify this direction? We need to keep it simple. It needs to be easily understood by everyone on the team. and it needs to be communicated often. Sometimes leaders, they talk about, almost sounding like a broken record. And when we are constantly repeating ourselves, it is kind of like we're sounding like a broken record, but that is so crucial
Oh, yeah.
to clarifying that vision.
I've been telling a bunch of clients lately, uh, because we're focusing on communication right now, and making sure that clarity and communication and understanding are top priority for us. What I've been telling a lot of clients is that if I think that I need to say it 5 times, I'm going to end up saying it 50. The reason why is because if you sit there and think about it, especially with a business like ours, we're doing taxes, accounting, finance. It's a more complicated subject. A lot of people may or may not understand it off the first couple times that you tell them exactly what's going, especially if they come in with preconceived notions. You got to think about that across the board. People could be showing up with preconceived notions. You got to untrain them before you really train them. Uh, then there's there's all kinds of different perspectives people could have. People could just simply not understand it. There could be a lack of communication, whatever it is. You got to ask yourself, for the average person to understand what I'm trying to convey, for the average person to understand the message I'm trying to portray, how many times do I have to tell them? If it's 5, then you're saying that you have to say the same thing 5 times over and over and over again before half of all the people, before half your entire audience actually understands your message. So, like I said, if you think you got to say it 5 times, say it 50, because then everybody will actually understand it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that reminds me of a really good example from K-State. So Kansas State University is where I got my undergrad, and uh, as a part of the freshman orientation, Bill Snyder, legendary football coach, he would give the exact same story every single time, every year, of him arriving to K-State and just like being so like drawn to the people. The people are why Bill Snyder chose K State. It was that family atmosphere. And that that vision, that clarity in what K State was about has become really the motto, the belief, the sense of belonging to the university, to the people that go get an education there, to the people a part of the football team.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it was Bill Snyder continually communicating that and doing it in a very simple way that other people could connect with. That's what gave a sense of belonging. It became a part of the people. It became a part of the university, that family atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Oh, yeah. If everybody's on the same page, what does that lead to?
Yeah, so when everyone's on the same page, how do we inspire others to start taking action? How do we have them be empowered to that higher calling, that higher purpose, whether it's in a business setting, a community setting, or maybe a belief system? There's a quote by Barack Obama that states, "It's only when you hitch your wagon to something larger than yourself that you realize your true potential." One of the greatest human needs is for people to be involved with something that is bigger than themselves, a sense of belonging, that higher calling. So, how do we establish that within those we lead to where they feel like they belong? They have something to contribute. They matter. We have to constantly communicate that vision and that clarity of vision to where they, the people that we lead, they understand their purpose in that business,
Yeah.
in that overall goal of the mission.
Oh, yeah. And this is all about communication. Again, it falls back to communication. It your business, if you own a business or say you're a parent out there and you got kids, there's a reason why you created that business, and there's a reason why you had a kid, or there's a reason why you're doing whatever you're doing. Now, that reason and that vision that you have and that ultimate end goal may be one thing for you, but it can be something completely different for other people. It's not a bad thing for other people to have a completely different vision for your business. If you have, say, a employee, a team member, a manager, on say an executive on your team, whatever it might be, and they've got a completely different vision for the business, as long as the goals are aligned, as long as the end vision as a group is aligned, but somebody's individual vision and how they are impacting the business, how they are contributing to the bigger picture is different from everybody else's, that's fine. Just make sure that everybody understands that higher purpose. Everybody understands that big picture vision that applies to the whole group. And then they can really, like he said, like Barack Obama said, hitch your wagon onto their trailer and start realizing, okay, this is how it's larger than just the business, and it actually just or it's larger than all that I'm contributing, and the end value and these it's really contributing to the vision and what we want as a group. If say you're a parent, like I was saying, you might have had a kid because you wanted an extra body around the house. You needed another worker because you live on the farm, whatever it might be. If that kid doesn't understand the vision and you need another worker on the farm, then they're not probably not going to get off the couch and actually do some work. What do I know? I'm not. I was born in a city, so
Yeah.
it doesn't apply to me. But nonetheless, I'm not a parent. Also, nonetheless, again, make sure you're communicating that end goal. Make sure you're flexible for other people to figure out how they can apply themselves to it and really allow it to be bigger than yourself. Because if other people aren't applying themselves to that vision, then it's just you.
Yeah. You know, people want to be inspired by something worth fighting for, something that they value, but you value too. But how do you get on the same page to where they connect with that? It does start with communication. But how do you show people that this is their opportunity? This is their opportunity to make big change, to make a difference, to fight for something that they're passionate about. Now, we need to light the fire within each of the people that we lead and ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, in order to pass that light to others or that fire to others, we must first light that fire within ourselves to exemplify that to other people.
Oh, yeah. And, as you're talking about that, one thing I'm sitting here picturing in my head, the picture you're conjuring up for me is the Olympic torch ceremony. Pe- you got one torch and a second torch, and the first torch is lit, second one's not, and then you light the second torch with the first torch. Pretty simple, right? To me, the analogy here is if you communicate the vision and you're communicating it properly, you're going to be able to light that torch. If the other person understands that what the vision is, they understand how they apply to it, they have their own vision, and it's bigger than just you, then that other torch has the fuel.
Mm,
If that other torch doesn't have the fuel, it's not going to light.
yeah.
You need to have fuel on that second torch. Even further with that, you got to connect them. You got to be able to pass it on and actually make that connection. If you're not lit up and on fire and you got the energy
Hmm.
for your vision, then you're not going to light the other one. It's simple as that. If your torch isn't on fire, you're not gonna light
Yeah.
their torch off. You have to have that passion, you have to have the energy and the motivation to achieve this vision. The fuel could be there. That vision can exist. The other torch can have the fuel too. You can communicate it really well, and that fuel could be on the other one. They could have their own motivation. But if the fire's not there and you don't light your own torch, you're not gonna light anybody else's torch.
I love that example. That's such a great example, Corbin, of the Olympics and just lighting a torch to light the overall big, the big flame at the opening ceremony, and really displaying the vision for everyone to see, that flame, that unity, to where everyone understands the vision. That could be in our business, but for the Olympics, the unity of all countries coming together in peace to help um, show that, hey, we're connected. We want to make a difference and show that uh, we're in community together on this world. So that fire burns within every single one of us. It's just waiting to be unleashed. Now we have to give the power to others to lead others in the vision. So once we have the vision, it's been communicated, fully understood, and you know those people are empowered to that higher calling, that purpose. We have to give them the authority to pass the flame, pass pass the torch, like what you're saying. So we have to fight for that higher purpose. Is it constantly center of mind? Is it being communicated effectively? Are we lighting that flame, getting people inspired to take action for themselves without us really having to, you know, constantly communicate? So when we talk about that, we're ultimately leading others to become leaders so they can start multiplying that effect to lead other leaders and continually passing on that vision, that higher purpose, that sense of belonging. So that's vision and inspiration. We have to have it as leaders.
Yep.
We have to continually communicate that vision and inspire others to do great things
Yep.
through our example.
Exactly. So what are we talking about next?
Yeah, so we're going to be starting a new series on goal setting. Now, the first episode we're going to be talking about is establishing SMART goals. How do we establish goals to where we are held accountable, in sense of time, specificity, uh, just being something that's really attainable, something that's realistic, uh, and something that can be quantified as well, something measured. We're gonna, help you guys understand how to plan out your goals effectively to where they can easily be accomplished. So remember, you guys can check out all our episodes every other Tuesday, either on Spotify, Google, or Apple Podcasts.
And don't forget to check out Enturian.com. That's Enturian.com. Make sure you go to exemplifyleadership.com as well. Carl and I are posting updates to the podcast on every social media channel, every platform that you can think of, pretty much. And you can stay updated with us. Also, if you want to look at the video version of the podcast, you can make sure to tune in at the Enturian YouTube channel. One more time, that's Enturian.com. Last but not least,
Alone we survive.
but together we thrive. We'll see you guys on the next episode.